Hello, friends from around the world. I'm Alex C. I hope you're having a fantastic day. And I wanted to take a small moment to talk to you about something. Actually, something which I touched on in one of my videos last week. So, I'm a high achievement coach, right? And when I work with people, I try to help them figure out what they need to do and what they need to keep track of so that they're able to fast track their success towards whatever it is they want to achieve. So in my case, being able to achieve what I want is being able to reach and impact more people and help more people create this kind of lives for themselves. So one of the things I keep track of is to make sure that I actually connect with and talk with people every day about this matter. So I'm always reaching out to new people and always trying to connect. And so whenever I reach out, I'll have people who will accept my invitation and come back to me and ask me, well, what do you do? And this is the topic I said at the beginning, which I talked about last week. We are way more than titles, and actually titles matter very little to me. So much so that I've made it a habit when somebody asks me what I do to answer, I'll tell you what I do, but first I'll tell you why I do that, right? And I invite you to do something of the sort also when people connect with you and ask you what you do for a living. So, as I said, in my case, that is connecting with people, but there's a reason why I do what I do. There's a reason why I dedicate myself and spend so much time every day trying to put out content and to be as impactful as I can to help people achieve the kind of life that they want. And, there's always a story behind why we do stuff. And that story is what enables others to actually connect with you. So when you're networking, when you're talking with people, don't be afraid to tell them where you come from and what you've gone through. So what I told this person who asked me what I do, and to who I'm told that I would first tell them why I do it, I told them, well, the most important thing for me in the world is, or I should say actually the most important issue currently in the world, in my opinion, is that people spend a lot of their time doing stuff that they don't actually care about, that they're not motivated by. And so they're not empowered to make a big difference in the world towards what really matters to them. And for me, the reason for that is fundamentally about our current education system and also about our culture in general, which does not promote both things and doesn't give us the skills that we need to go beyond just becoming a worker in the workforce, but instead to be able to generate the resources we need, so the time, the energy, the money that we're going to need if we're going to fulfill ourselves and make such a big impact. And maybe some of you didn't know, but one of the important things about me is that I actually went through a very deep and long depression. I was in depression for over 10 years. And that was all based on the fact that I felt powerless to do something that was meaningful to me. I felt that there was nothing which I could really engage with in the world and which made sense to me. And so I went through that, but that's not what I focus on. That actually allowed me, or it forced me actually, to gain the skills, gain the knowledge and know-how I would need to be able to get myself out of that. And that's how I actually got the skills I would need to help others go through that, through what I feel is that most important thing and most important challenge in the world. Because if each of us is empowered to do what is meaningful to them and to make an actual impact and generate tons of resources, right? So to have not only the will, but the energy, the time, the money that you would need to be able to invest in solving whatever issue is most meaningful to you. Well, if each of us had that, considering that we each value specific causes more, well, all of those causes would be taken care for. There would be people championing all of those who would actually have the means to do something about it, right? So that's why this matters so much to me. So I told that person about this, about my background, about why I do what I do. But that's not enough, right? Just saying why you're doing what you're doing right now. There needs to be a sense of where you're going with that. You need to be able to inspire people to move forward and to tell them, you too could do something like that if you want to let go of that 9 to 5 that's draining your soul and actually do something you care about. It's actually possible for anybody to do it. And that's the message I try to spread. So, what's next for me is saying, well, what I do right now is sharing posts, creating content, trying as much as I can to inspire people and to get them to get a sense of this possibility, to start believing that it's actually something that can be done. Because as long as you don't believe it, you won't invest any energy towards it. You won't put in the effort. And if you don't put in the work, well, obviously you won't get any results, right? So for me, my reality right now is creating as much content as I can and trying to make that impact on people. And, while doing that, I actually connected with tons of people. I met a lot of conscious entrepreneurs, a lot of really awesome folks from all around the world. And I realized that the one thing that had been missing in my life previously, because I've been an entrepreneur for over 10 years now, but the one thing which had prevented me from really connecting with people was not being entirely authentic. So we all build this persona, right? We're a different person depending on who we're with, or actually, I should say most of people are. And it's not to say that we're fake. It's just that we have, these professional manners that we need to keep up if we're going to stay employed. And depending on, what area you work in, you need to act in certain ways to be respected by people. But that is all, artificial, and it's not what you should be focusing on ultimately if you're going to make a real difference. As soon as you start being really authentic and talking to people from, this place of what matters most to you and of your actual feelings towards things, when you stop being afraid of being judged and realize that people will actually connect with you because you choose to be vulnerable, right? That's the key to connecting, which also happens to be a huge key to business, because business is fundamentally about relationships, right? So if you want to have success in general, one of the first things you should be taught is to actually be authentic and to allow people to see your weaknesses as well as your strengths so that they can emphasize with you and connect as human beings. So as soon as I started doing that, people started resonating with my message. And that's why I was able to start growing an audience. I'm by no means famous. I'm just a guy trying to make a difference. But because I'm being authentic and talking with people from my heart, people actually start to believe me, to believe in me, and to follow what I'm doing. And I start to be able to inspire them to some degree. And I believe that if everybody just did that, we could do so much good for the world. So again, last thing is what's next for us, right? Whenever you talk to somebody about your past, about where you are right now, about what you're focusing on and why that matters, you want to leave them with a sense of where you're going, so that if people are inspired by what you do, they can actually choose to jump in. So in my case, when I explained that to this person this morning, when I told them about what I'm doing right now with my days and what I'm trying to accomplish with that, I ended by saying, well, the thing I'm focusing on right now is to try and build a community. I'm trying to build something where we have people supporting each other, people who have the same kinds of values, and that's where you can get into what really matters to you. So being authentic, right, it means that you need to allow people to know what you care about outside of your work. So in my case, I care about sustainability. I care about caring in the world. I care about trying to make a difference. And most of all, maybe I care about people taking action, because no matter how small a step you take, you're actually creating momentum, whereas nothing will actually change if you don't change. So that's the key thing to creating any kind of change, be it in the world at large or just in your own life. It's to start taking small actions. And as you take more of those, well, you build up your courage and you're able to take more and more until you start making a real big difference, a big impact. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to focus on building this tribe. I'm calling it Valor Tribe. It's a lot of people who care about the same values, who have the same mindset, who have the same belief that if we actually start supporting each other and teaching people what they need to know to start creating those resources I talked about at the beginning, right? So start creating not only the energy and the motivation, but also the actual cash they're going to need to fuel their growth. If we teach people how to do that through doing stuff they love with people they actually love being around, well, it's going to be super easy for them to be motivated. It's going to be easy to keep going, to create this wealth and abundance of all aspects of their life, right? Real abundance. And with that, we're going to be able to teach more people, to reach more people, and to keep growing until we solve a lot of the world's issues. That's just the way to go about it. There is no other way to change anything. You need to start building the alternative instead of wasting your time and energy complaining on what's going on right now. Focus on building the alternative, make it meaningful, make it enticing to people, and they will naturally join you. So that's a bit on my story. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It's also what I suggest that you do when you connect with people, to go with your actual story, to allow yourself to be vulnerable. And if you value what I'm saying today and you would like to help me keep growing my impact, please give me a like and share this video. That's the best thing you can do to help me. And if you strongly believe in what I'm trying to create and what the rest of the people I'm connected with also care to create, then by all means, get in touch with me and let's get you in the tribe and start making a difference together. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.